Good evening, good evening. How's everybody doing today on this wonderful Saturday evening? Hope everybody's doing great, doing well, having a positive day, doing positive things. We got to stay positive, be positive, do positive, and we'll get positive results. Really quick, so I want to tell y'all this real fast. So I had a gentleman actually, actually comment on the last videos that I did on my cam videos. And he actually commented and said, I don't know why I clicked on your video. He said, but I do appreciate the positive intro that you did. And I really appreciate it. And thank you. And I was like, hey, man, you're welcome. You know what I mean? So I wanted to tell you guys that because you never know what a person's going through. That positive intro of my video probably made his day because he probably had a bad day or he's been going through something. So we don't know what a person is going through in everyday life. You know, we all go through things. Everybody's got something going on. So that's why I try to, when I make my videos, I always try to get on with a positive introduction. That way it hits people in a certain way where it's like, man, this is cool, this is positive, and this guy's a really positive guy. And I've been a positive person all my life. So I always try to look at the bright side of things, even in bad situations. So I said that to say this, you guys, do all you can do to stay positive, be positive, think positive, do positive. You'll get positive results. Your positive vibes will rub off on somebody else, and they'll appreciate that, and they'll thank you for it, and they'll always remember you by that. So keep that in mind. So just want to tell you guys that real quick. All right, so now, topic of this video, I wanted to get on and do this. I felt like this topic would be very useful to the folks that are learning the platform and don't really know. As you guys, as I told you guys before, I had to do some work on the Iris Metallic GT. I had to do a water pump because, of course, it was leaking. I showed y'all the whole floor full of coolant and leaked out. But so I just wanted to bring this video to you guys and show you guys this. I'm halfway done with the project, so I stopped in the middle of it because I discovered some things that I wanted to kind of stop and do this topic, do this video for some people that, like I said, that are learning the platform and don't know. So I figured this would be a great topic. So let's move over here. Let's move over here to the car real quick. So to show you guys this what I've been doing here most of the day. I got the new water pump down there, as you can see it. And that's where the cam gears are supposed to go. I got new cam seals there. I got a down there on the sprocket, behind that sprocket, behind the crankshaft sprocket there, I got a new seal. So, decided to go ahead and do all the seals, cam seals, crank seal, water pump, timing belt, do it all. Might as well, you're already on this side of the engine. Just do it all one time. You ain't got to worry about it. You know what I mean? So, just want to show y'all this real quick. So this bad boy's halfway together. So let's go over to the work table real fast. All right. Here's the old water pump. Here's the old timing belt idler pulley. Here's the new timing belt idler pulley. Here's the old timing belt tensioner. Here's the new timing belt tensioner. All right, so of course we know some of us do, some of us don't. So we have a timing belt tensioner that's mounted here, and then we have a timing belt idler pulley that's mounted there. So your idler pulley's here, your timing belt tensioner's here, right? All right, so water pumps. What causes them to fail? All right, so what happens is there is a mechanical seal inside this water pump along the shaft, right? So that mechanical seal keeps coolant out of the actual housing area. So it keeps coolant out of the actual housing, out of the housing area. Keeps coolant from coming in this actual area here, and it keeps it back here pretty much so the impeller can move it. So with that being said, so there's a weep hole right here. See that hole? That weep hole is designed so when coolant starts to go in this housing, it runs out of this weep hole and it starts leaking. And that's how you know it's bad. You can't see this weep hole when it's bolted to the car, bolted to the block. You cannot see it. It's behind it. But it's designed to let the coolant drip pretty much on the ground. So you'd be like, all right, well, why do I have a coolant leak in the timing side? This is pretty much the only, this is the only source that has coolant running through it on the timing side, period. So you already know. If you got coolant running down behind your harmonic balancer and like right at the front of the oil pan, you pretty much know it's going to be your water pump. So yeah, pretty much going to be your water pump. So basically, that's what happens when the water pump fails. It just, it starts to leak coolant out of this weep hole here. And like I said, the mechanical seal keeps coolant out of the neck area here, the housing, and it keeps it, back here. So of course those impellers are moving the water. So what kills this seal? Age, over time, water pump gets old, the seal gets old, and then of course the material will start to deteriorate of the seal. The seal material will start to deteriorate, and then it'll start letting coolant inside of the housing, and then it will leak out of the weep hole. Another thing that hurts that seal is overheating an engine. When you overheat the engine, you overheat that mechanical seal, the material starts to deteriorate, and it will start leaking coolant. Been there, done that. So yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know that tidbit of information on the water pump. If you have a water pump fail, it's either because it's just old, age. Now some of them, I've seen some water pumps be defective where, you get a water pump and it's just, a defective equipment. It either wasn't remanufactured right or wasn't put together correctly, or they missed something at the factory. It happens. Us professionals ain't perfect. You know what I mean? So that's basically, some knowledge on the water pump. What helps a water pump live? Do not overheat the engine. Run the correct coolant. Try not to run water. I don't ever run water. I run 100% coolant. I don't run 50-50. I run the pure green coolant. I've never ever ran mixture. I've never ran a mixture of 50-50. That's just how I've always done it. I've always done straight coolant. And I've had great luck. I mean, my vehicles, my parts last forever. I've had water pumps last me for years. I've gotten water pumps out of the junkyard before. I ain't gonna lie to you. I seen a water pump one time. It was not on this particular engine, but another one. And I pulled that thing off. It was brand new. Somebody just replaced it. I took a chance on it. Been working ever since. I don't recommend y'all doing that, but hey, that was a long time ago. So, and that's also when the parts were better. The parts manufacturers were a lot better back then. The quality of parts was a lot better back then. It's not like it is now. A lot of stuff's made in China and Taiwan, so it's a little bit cheaper. The quality has gone down, of course. So I do not recommend you go to junkyard and get a water pump. Just buy a new one. Don't. I do not recommend that. I do not recommend that. Going to the junkyard and getting a water pump. Don't do it. I just did that, because I seen it was brand new. I said I'm gonna take a chance on it. Heck with it. So yeah. Don't do that. Go buy a new water pump. Period. So yeah, that's one. Shed session. Can't talk again. I just wanted to shed some knowledge on this real quick. Yeah, that mechanical seal is to keep coolant out of this area and keep it back here, and then keep the water circulating throughout the engine. And then, of course, if you have a bad water pump and it starts leaking, there's a weep hole. That's where it lets the coolant out once the mechanical seal is damaged. All right, so that's the water pump. All right, so let's move to the idler pulleys. All right, so how do you know when you got a bad idler pulley, right? This is how you know. Listen. Y'all hear that? That bearing is dry as I don't know what. Very dry. Very dry. All right, hear the difference. You don't hear nothing there. And I'm spinning it. You don't hear anything. Same thing with your timing belt tensioner. Listen. Bearing is dry. New one, You don't hear anything. And that's what you want. You don't want to hear nothing. That's not good. That's not good. So I know some people, and I've done it myself, reuse these wore out. Listen. Y'all hear that? Thing's got play in it. So, so does this. Now, nothing. So I've been an advocate. I've reused the old tensioners and stuff like that. And I'm like, well, it'll be all right, But these things got bearings inside of them, right? When those bearings start to get dry, and you constantly run them, they have no more lubrication on them. So at that point, these bearings start to get hot, and it forms more and more play. And then next thing you know, you got a tensioner laying down on your timing, behind your timing cover, and your timing belt has come off the engine, and it has pretty much shut down. Now, luckily, the 1.8 Mazda BPs are not interference. The Mazda BP05, of course, this engine I'm working on, is non-interference. So that's a good thing. But it still sucks because if you knew you should have changed these and you didn't, and they sounded rough like this, and they had play in them, like that and like this, no, just go ahead and replace them. And this is why I recommend to everybody, when you do a water pump on a BPO5, you go that far, just replace the timing belt, the cam seals, and the crank seals. Just replace them all. 9 times out of 10, just about every BP that I have done a timing belt water pump job on, I have pulled the seals out, and the seals are hard as a brick. And that means they're dry rotted, and they're no longer going to seal oil good anymore. The hotter they get, the worse they get. So, you guys and gals, if you do a timing belt job, or if you do a water pump job on a BPO5, timing belt, whatever you do, replace everything. Replace all your components. Replace your idler pulley, replace your tensioner, timing belt tensioner, replace, of course, your water pump, and then replace your timing belt. Now, let me show you something else. Let me grab this, hold on. Grab this old timing belt here. Let me show y'all something real quick. So, timing belt looks okay, right? You're looking at it. Let's see, where is the numbers at? Timing belt looks fine. And you're like, oh, the timing belt ain't bad. I'm just going to go ahead and reuse it. Where's the freaking numbers at? All right, so you got the numbers right there, right? Oh, you're like, oh man, that thing don't look that bad. You can still read the numbers on it. Yeah. All right, well, squeeze it. I don't know how well this thing's going to focus. But squeeze your timing belt this way and squeeze it this way. And if you notice, you got, there's a joint. It's a joint right there where it's joined together and stuff. So if you start squeezing this belt and it starts to like crack, like this one has small cracks in it. If this belt starts to crack when you bend it either way, that belt is no good. It's only going to be a matter of time before that thing pops, when it decides to pop. You don't know when it's going to pop. You don't know when it's going to decide to pop. So just, if you guys are going to do a timing belt water pump job on these cars, do it the right way. Replace everything. Replace the cam seals, replace the crank seal, replace the water pump, replace the timing belt. Because I can tell you, there is nothing worse than being on the timing side of the engine and replacing just a few things and just letting the rest go, knowing you don't know how long it's going to last. 2 weeks down the road, a month, 2 months, 3 months, you're back in the same position because you have 1 or 2 parts in there that it would have took you 10 minutes to change while you were already there. Now those parts have cost you work twice and money twice. So just do it one time, one and done, and you ain't got to worry about it. All right? So, and if anybody's got any questions on any of this, feel free to reach out to me, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. I'll be glad to walk anybody through or help anybody out I need to help out. So, Oh, one more thing. When you do a water pump, sometimes the gasket will get stuck on the actual water pump itself, and sometimes it'll get stuck on the block. So make sure you clean the block off really good before you put the new gasket on there. Because if you do not clean the block off really good of the old gasket, what's going to happen is the new gasket is not going to seal properly, and guess what? You're going to have another coolant leak, so which means you got to pull it down again. So just make sure you get all this gasket material off of the block. When you pull the water pump, make sure and inspect. See, this one, the gasket actually stayed on the water pump. And some I've had, it actually stuck to the block. So whatever you do, always inspect and see where your gasket's at. Did it stick to the block? Did part of it break off and stick? So did some of it stick to the water pump and some stick to the block? Just make sure that you pay attention to that gasket and clean it off the block as much as possible. Get all that gasket off of that block as good as you can. Because if you don't, you put the new gasket on, you're going to have a leak, guaranteed. All right, so again, if you're on the timing side of this BP05, BP4W, BP26, don't matter. Any BP engine you work on in an Escort or a Protege or a Miata, Kia, whatever, do the whole entire job. Do the seals on do the cam seals, do the crank seal, do the water pump, do the timing belt, do your tensioners, do all your components, do everything. Because if you don't, you may get lucky and it be fine for a while. You may go 2 weeks and the car break down again because you didn't replace those parts. All right, so I just wanted to jump on real quick and let you guys know that little bit of information. Like I said, if anybody's got any questions, feel free to message me, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube, and I'll be glad to walk anybody through anything that they want to be walked through. All right, okay, everybody. So this is gonna conclude this video. Thanks everybody for watching. Please like and subscribe. If it's something that you want me to cover, a particular video you'd like me to do, to a particular topic, let me know, and I'll do what I can do to put one together for you. Okay? All right. Well, I'm gonna get back on this car so we can get that bad boy cranked up and get it pulled out of the shop so I can pull in the next project. And I will catch you guys on the next one. All right. Peace out.